Welcome to the Important Questions Podcast, the show that serves to answer life's most important questions. I'm Dave. I'm joined by the Acolytes of Knowledge. We got Scott.
Hey.
We got Rico.
Yo.
And we got Smitty.
Hello.
Boys, welcome to the show. And everyone listening at home, also welcome to the show. The intro is what we do, right? It's very, very simple. We answer life's most important questions. 4 hosts, 4 topics every single week. The goal of the show is just to answer them with our brilliant, huge minds. Kind of stay away from the personal conversation and stuff. I want to be here like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 episodes later and still feel like it's someone could come in to episode 90 and feel welcomed, like they're not missing 90 episodes worth of content. So that's my goal. That's my guarantee, right? Jump right into shit, not like what I'm doing right now.
I really want somebody to jump into episode 90 and have zero idea, so they have to go back to the front.
That seems more lucrative for our bottom line.
The lore matters.
Unless we...
All the ads and sponsors.
Unless you give the same spiel at the beginning of every episode, you're going to jump into episode 90 and go, do they do this all the time?
You should record that intro, Dave, and then play that at the beginning of every single episode, and then we can just listen to it.
It's got to be a little bit more polished because I think I threw in a couple of uhs and ums.
Yeah, I
so
think there's a
maybe I read a
though.
script. Maybe I read a script. I don't know.
Maybe you could like auto tune it, like, change it up every once in a while, bass boost it.
Cool,
like the old days.
Type it out and make the computer read it.
I could do all that shit.
There you go.
This podcast hosted by Microsoft Sam.
So, probably the biggest and most important role in this entire show is the person that decides to take the first question of the entire show. That's a big responsibility.
They set the pace.
They set the pace for everything that's to come.
Don't let me.
That's a lot of pressure.
Okay, so you two are no's. Smitty says yes. Okay, let's fucking do it.
All right. My question is, how well would a modern average Joe do in the past with, well, for example, like you guys, your current medical knowledge and training? So, like, how would you do if, with whatever knowledge you have about diseases and shit, how would you do in comparison to, like, a doctor in, like, the 1800s, do you think?
Ooh.
Fucking A.
That's very interesting.
I still feel like I'd be pretty
I stole that
dumb.
question from Twitter, by the way. Shout out to John_Toilet for positing that.
Jonathan
Cool
Toilet.
guy.
Thanks, bud. I still think I'd be worse off than that time's professionals. Like if you're saying specifically for medical advice, Spitty, I'm guessing they still like they did surgeries and shit back then. They didn't have like anesthesia.
Well, I mean,
but
surgery
they still would,
in
like,
the loosest sense. They were using saws
they were just fucking
and
around.
axes.
Yeah,
but they knew
hammers.
where to find shit, right? Like I don't think I could find the appendix very well.
They didn't even know what an appendix was in the 1800s.
Yeah.
They just knew it exploded
was
and how
just-
to find it.
It was just limb amputations at that point. But
Well, they still believed in
don't
humors until
sell
like
yourself short.
the early 1900s.
They believed in what?
Humors being what?
Like that Greek concept where it's like you've got like a bunch of different like elements in your body that are like keeping your health in check. Like one of them is like bile. I think one of them was blood. I don't know. I'm not Greek, but like it was, you know, it was just like bullshit. They didn't know. They didn't know about like modern medicine shit. They just thought like your body got fucked up, and then it's like, why your humors are unbalanced.
I don't know. Maybe because of my experience and education, I think I'd fare pretty well.
Well, I was gonna say you work in healthcare, so you
Yeah.
could probably be an actual doctor in the 1800s and get away with it.
Oh, to get away with it, hell yeah. To be a good doctor, however, I'm not sure because the tools were super limited. Like you couldn't really diagnose things as well, which
Were they washing their hands back
No,
then?
literally no.
no, they didn't wear gloves. They didn't make like nurses and stuff wear gloves until I want to say like after like World War II. Like people are still just barehanding it.
Mhm.
Everything
I
must
feel
have been
like
so
that
infected.
alone.
Yeah. Well,
that'll like adding that, but decreasing the amount of knowledge that you have compared to like their professionals at the time, you'd probably like kind of start to even it out.
When
Well, like
was
like,
Scott,
that
you have
cause
like
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
problems.
theoretical knowledge about the human body too,
yeah.
because like you've taken classes and shit. So you'd probably like better off than most doctors in the 1800s. Like doctors in the 1800s, they like put their hands in like horse shit and then be
Yeah.
like, all right, let's go take those bones out of your leg.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think I'd definitely be able to assess what's going on a little bit better. But as far as like cutting off somebody's leg, I don't know how to do that. I mean, I don't think they did either, which is why they just fucking went
Yeah, you
for
literally
it.
just get a saw
Yeah.
and make the guy drunk.
And if it wasn't the leg that killed you, it was the blood and stream infection afterwards.
Well, they just say he got blood poisoning or just God hates him, and that's why he died.
Rico, I'm curious about like you and I specifically, right?
Yeah,
Smitty, like
we don't know
because
shit.
like I maybe this isn't the direction you want to take the question, and that's fine, I guess. I'll take it the way I wanted to go, which is you have a marketable skill, so like you could have gone back in time and still taught. Scott, you could have gone back in time and still been some sort of medical professional.
Right.
Rico, what
Right.
would you and I do?
I don't think I'd last very long.
Try to
I
explain.
barely like going outside.
Try to explain to like a Russian peasant in the 1700s. So like I put letters into this magic box, and then the box
and it
does things.
It listens to me.
Yeah.
Except for when I fuck up and it breaks.
Well, I mean, you could just be a magician. You just lie to people.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And
A
I'm
long
telling
ex-
some bozo in the
um,
1700s, look, buddy, if you go to the hospital, you're going to incur a $2 million bill, and someone's got to help you with it.
They didn't even know how much a million was.
Right.
They couldn't count that
Yeah.
high back then.
They're like, Bill, can I pay you in chickens?
2 million chickens.
Fuck.
But you
But
can
like
have chicken
knowing how to
insurance.
like anybody knows that like or most logical people know to like wash your fucking hands, and that like cuts down a disease.
Right.
So I think that like puts most average people nowadays at least like a decent bit like ahead of like average people in like the 1800s.
I
At
don't.
least
I don't know, man.
people.
Yeah.
Just maybe I've become more hyper aware of it since the pandemic, or maybe it's because I'm a nurse. But the amount of people, especially after the pandemic, that still like cough into their hands or go and use a public restroom, especially to shit, and then they don't wash their hands. It's
Oh, God. Yeah,
shocking.
that's true.
It is shocking.
Smitty, if you're talking about the average person and not just us four,
I guess I'm being really
Um,
charitable, aren't I?
I would assume people would like they would go back in time from our era to like the time of settlers. They wouldn't know where to shit to not poison themselves. They wouldn't know to boil water before they drink it.
Well, they're gonna poop in the river, and then maybe they'll remember like, oh, I'm supposed to do something to the water to make it potable, and then they'll boil the shit water.
I think you're giving them too much credit.
You think so?
I think so. I think they would think like, oh, well, the river flows that way, so
Let's follow the
I'm
river
sure it's
and
fine.
then drink downstream.
yeah.
I think
I'm sure
most
it's
people
fine.
would be paralyzed by not knowing what to do without their cell phone. I know it sounds stupid, but like when the power's out and you don't want to use your phone, you feel like an idiot for a little bit. Like I don't
I do think I would instinctively try to Google something if I found myself just like
right.
suddenly blasted back in time, and I'm just like, huh, how do I build a lean-to?
God, this would suck. Let me ask my. Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
Shit.
I feel like as a teacher, I've gotten CPR training, and I've gotten stop the bleed training, and I think that puts me I could probably fake being a doctor for a little bit in like the 1800s. I could probably get away with it, and I'd probably lie and just do the whole like God hated him, that's why he died thing a lot. But
You could
maybe
wear one
in
of
the
those
1700s, I'd be a really good doctor.
Yeah,
you could just wear one of those bird masks, Smitty, and just stuff a bunch of parsley in it.
Isn't that like way before the 1700s?
That's like
Yeah, who the
that's-
fuck cares?
Yeah.
Isn't like the
Dude, anyways.
before the 1400s even?
So you'd be a little outdated past your time, but
Yeah.
you do you.
I'm bringing it back.
If you
from
did,
the 1700s.
yeah, say if you did 1700s or 1800s, you'd have to have like Indian medicine man headdress and have like a huge pipe and just be hitting peyote like nobody's business, and then try and help them.
I could bring my. Well,
You'd
they
be
did
a shaman.
leeches.
You'd be a shaman.
I could be a shaman. I could be a medicine man. I'd be
We
just
could
smoking
probably
a lot of
all
weed.
we could probably all huck snake oil.
Oh yeah, that's the easiest thing in the world back then. People
Yeah.
were stupid as
Mhm.
fuck then, but they
Yeah,
didn't
I
have the
feel like-
internet to like check up on stuff.
I feel like I could do that. It's essentially just like boil water with like some sort of herbs, and
Yeah.
I'm sort of smart enough to like forage. I could pick things that aren't poison.
Yeah, like I made garlic tea. It'll cure everything wrong with you, and it'll make your boner bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait, for real?
Sure, Rico.
Does that still work in
Pay
the
me
21st
600
century?
Confederate dollars, and I'll sell you some.
Perfect.
I'll trade you 3 war bonds.
ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I bet I could still. If you're again speaking specifically to like doctors, I think that I could probably do it okay. Again, I just don't think. I don't think we're giving enough credit to doctors in the 1800s. I think
I don't know
you're saying
what
like
so.
they're all like boneheads that didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
I don't think that we're giving
Well,
enough credit
that
to.
was- That's what it was.
I don't think we're
I
giving
mean,
enough credit to
they had
people.
some idea, like they still like they dissected cadavers and shit, and like again, like a general knowledge of the human body is better than just I take Tylenol when I'm sore. What the fuck is Tylenol?
Yeah,
I think
with penicillin.
I think we're
Right.
not giving people in the 1800s enough credit because I feel like a lot of people, especially like women, were trained like how to take care of stuff like that. Especially if you were like a farmer or a rancher or something. Like you're gonna have to know
like
how
a
to.
midwife.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to know how to fix up if your husband's a cowboy or something on the Oregon Trail or whatever, and he gets fucked up by I don't know somebody who's trying to steal some shit. Like you're gonna want to know how to stop bleeding on your husband. I would think that a lot more people would have that like base set of knowledge, and I feel like most people nowadays would freeze and wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a lot of things that people were doing in the 1800s that I can't fucking do. I can't build my own house. I could try.
Yeah.
It's gonna be shit. I don't know how to set a
I
foundation.
couldn't ride a horse.
I
I'd get my
I have no
ass
idea how to
kicked.
ride a horse. I have no idea how to build a fucking wheel and axle for like a wagon and like how to haul shit. I can't do that.
Right.
I think if I was given, the
I don't
right
know how to make
tools-
Coca-Cola. That was in the 1800s.
Yeah, that's a secret Pemberton recipe.
Yeah, right.
We
Had like
could,
actual cocaine.
we
in
could
it.
just play music and play songs that we all know, but that nobody else has ever heard of.
Yeah, we'd be fucking bards. We'd just hang out at taverns.
People
All
are
right,
like,
you
he's
folk,
so
here's
good.
Wonderwall.
He's so. You folk.
I could be a jester.
Scott, you and I could brew.
That's true.
Yeah,
and,
you guys
and,
could
and
brew.
in the time of
And then
in
get
the
shut
time
down
of
by
like
and then get shut down by the 1920s, depending on how late we start.
that's true.
we
but,
make
like,
it- or we make it
remember
big.
like pre clean water times,
Yeah.
people just like drank alcohol by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd be like the bottled water salesman selling booze.
For what it's
You
worth,
need-
I
you
think
need
the
this to
alcohol,
live.
the beer they made was not all that strong that replaced the water. It was pretty weak beer, but like the little bit of alcohol in there helped.
Mhm.
Weren't they essentially making like the modern day equivalent of like kvass, where you just ferment a piece
I mean,
of
some
bread,
cultures, yeah.
something of the sort?
Well, that's how
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Can you imagine like introducing anything that you guys make now to them back then, as far as like taste?
This is
It's
this
got to
is
be like
a
1,000
white
times
chocolate
better.
raspberry. They're like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
white chocolate? What the hell's
Cool
It
chocolate?
would probably
Dorito.
actually come.
If you gave like a Victorian child Takis,
They die.
well, I mean,
They'd
all the
explode.
lead just constantly in their diet anyway probably means they wouldn't really care that much, I suppose. Like, this is kind of bland. What is this?
I kind of want to go to the store now.
For Takis?
Takis, it sounds so
That's good
good.
shit.
What's your taki of choice, Rico?
Just plain fuego.
Have you eaten any of the other kind?
I have not.
Yeah, neither have I. The blue ones look weird. I don't like them.
The blue one scares
Yeah,
me.
it's just like
Why the-
radioactive colored.
That's unnatural.
Although I did do the Takis What were they? I sent you guys pictures of this. It was like the cheese ball things or whatever. They're freezer.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking
stuff,
about.
and then you heat them up.
Were those any good?
No, they're not good. Don't do it. Don't eat that. Don't put that in your mouth.
I found that like most like novelty sort of branded frozen snack shit, like like you'll see like the Doritos like triangular cheese filled fucking, I don't know, they're like a big puff, supposedly like a puffed Dorito. They all fucking suck. Like just universally they suck ass.
On the topic, do you guys think that you would even survive going back 200-300 years as far as like food goes?
I was thinking
Like-
diseases for a second, like our modern immune systems, just with all the vaccines we have in our bodies. Would we be okay, or would we be worse off? Because the
Well, that's
diseases
not-
were way different.
Yeah,
That's not food, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm fucking aware it's not food, asshole. I know.
well.
You took my
just
subject
saying,
and squashed it.
just saying
you
you're going back
bastard.
to the 1800s doesn't mean you're going to go to like absolutely no civilization, unless I mean if we're talking strictly in the U.S. here, I mean we were on
When
the,
did the
land
Louisiana
for
Purchase happen?
Maybe it's just because I'm now watching the 1883 series that I'm just like totally set on like pioneer settler time.
Oh yeah, I don't-
where like they kill a deer, and like that's cool. I'm guessing I could probably kill a deer.
yeah.
Then they have to like preserve an entire fucking deer in a matter of hours so
Yeah.
that none of it goes bad and kills them.
Yeah, that would be tough. And then, yeah, like going out on their own when they're on the trail and stuff, because that was a great show. If the other two of you haven't seen it,
No.
and it was I mean hauntingly realistic Oregon Trail. Like it was. I thought it was pretty accurate, but I don't know if I could do a whole
Scott
lot
was
of
there.
like long term stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like food
Honest
is
answer,
still-
Smitty,
Yeah.
I do okay.
Yeah, I think we'd mostly
Yeah.
do okay.
Passable.
Yeah.
Passable.
I mean, if I'm in civilization, I could probably eventually like accustom myself to like living in like the 1860s somewhere,
Yeah, I don't think
provided I don't get drafted into the Civil War.
it'd be
Yeah.
that hard to adapt in if you were already in civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just plopping me back there though. Dave, what you said about the deer. Nah. I don't think I'd make it longer than like a month.
Just out in the wilderness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing I know how to clean is a fish.
Yep.
And that's good for like only a few months out of the year. I don't know how to ice fish.
Hmm.
I don't even know how to fish without a fishing pole that's made in the modern age. So maybe I wouldn't even be able to do that.
Fuck.
I
Or
have like
fishing
a rough
line.
idea theoretically how to do that shit, but
Where are you gonna get
I don't
fishing
know.
line?
Yeah.
I mean, you could make like
Spider
cordage
webs.
out of like
Ye old Bass
plants
Pro.
and shit.
Ye olde Bass
The old Bass Pro Shop.
Just this
Um,
big
yeah.
pyramid in the middle of the Midwest.
They were mounds back then, not pyramids. You satisfied, Smitty?
What were you gonna say about the food?
Oh, exactly what I said about the deer. Like, do you know how to clean it and preserve it and make it to where you can survive on it for months without ever getting sick?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have salt, or I guess
Or
lye
smoke.
if you're really, really hurting for stuff. Well,
I mean,
yeah,
you could always
smoking.
you could dry it out. You could
Yeah.
jerk everything.
Yeah,
I could jerk
I
everything.
could barely
back
keep
then.
chicken in the fridge for a week.
That's
Yeah.
true. My chicken gets slimy.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
My bread's a little stale. I gotta throw that away.
And knowing the shit, like knowing what we know now, right? That's a huge red flag. But I feel like going back to the 1800s, they'd be like, just eat the slimy chicken, you pussy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, what's wrong with you?
But I know what lives on it.
Right.
There's germs on there. What are germs? They're tiny things you can't see. Oh, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And you make
Fucking
fun of us
idiot.
because of our
This fucking
fucking
guy.
bad bile and bad blood. Yeah.
Hmm.
I swear that we have proof. I'm from the
Mhm.
future.
You just have to squint really hard to see the germs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm satisfied. Whatever.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Boys, I have a question today about one of our favorite topics, poop.
Yeah.
Universal human experience.
It's roughly inspired by the episode of South Park. If y'all have never seen it, they have a competition for who could take the world's biggest poop, right?
Is that
And
where Stan's dad eats P.F. Chang's and then
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
the one. And it got me to think. It got me to thinking. Put yourself in these shoes. Put yourself on this toilet. You turn around after you poop and you look at your poop. You suspect, honest to God, that you have just taken the world's biggest poop.
Was it
What do you
forearm
do?
side? If you're Smitty, you close the door and leave and never talk to that person ever again.
Yeah, Irish goodbye the fuck out of that house.
But seriously,
Hopefully
like
it's not
honest to
my
God,
house.
you look at this poop. It's massive. You're convinced this is the biggest poop anyone has ever taken. You can't just flush it. Like
You immediately have to grab that thing out of the toilet
and
to preserve
and do
it,
what?
so the water doesn't break it down.
And do what?
Set it in the sink.
Put it in a Ziploc.
I mean, yeah, that's probably what
If it fits in a
Preserve it in
Ziploc,
the fridge.
if it fits in a Ziploc bag, it's not the world's biggest poop.
I think this question is definitely different
yeah,
if you asked it today versus like 10, 15 years ago when nobody had cell phones or that nobody's uploading pictures to Twitter on the internet. And you're like, oh, dude, like now you could be like, this is the biggest shit. You could take a picture of it and then a lot of people would find out about it some way or another.
So you would take a picture, Scott?
Oh, that'd probably be the first thing I do.
and send it to us for
Well, hell yeah.
comparison, I guess.
Of course.
I feel like people online would immediately call it fake.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to call like Guinness or something.
Yeah.
But like,
which is where my head was when I said you need to get that shit out of the toilet real fast.
so how do you approach that, Rico? Do you like put on gloves? How do you make sure this thing doesn't fall apart?
Yeah, you got to act
How
fast,
much-
right? I don't know. I don't know if I have gloves readily available. I might just
Dunk your hand in.
I feel like this is going to be my claim to fame. So getting my hand a little shitty is not the end of the world.
Yeah,
just
this
both-
is your
both
claim to
elbows
fame?
deep.
unless it's
Yeah.
unless it turns much softer and you just fucking mash it and you don't
That's
actually. pick
my
it
worry,
up.
right? Like, what if it's huge, but it's like either A, the moment it cracks and falls apart, it could be considered two separate poops, which screws you over.
Yeah.
It's got
No,
to
you
be
could-
one
you could
clean. It's got to be one
forensic-
clean turd.
forensic, like what's that show?
CSI.
Yeah, CSI. You could CSI that shit back together and determine that it's the same.
Sir,
poop.
this has a
One
piece of
unbroken
scotch
log.
tape holding
Line
it
up the
together.
rifle lines or whatever. Yeah.
Disqualified.
Yeah,
Can't like stitch it back together.
you could
But it
use
has
a
to be
little bit
one
of.
long unbroken log.
Can you
to
roll it back
qualify.
together like when you break a thing of Play-Doh and you just mash it and roll it between your hands?
But then you condense
You
it,
could
Scott,
certainly try.
and then you make it smaller.
That's true. Poop is aerated slightly. Also, I would not play around in my own shit like that.
Smitty, this is the world record.
Yeah,
I don't
this is
care.
the world's
That's
biggest
fucking
poop.
gross.
What other world records are you going
I
to be
have
breaking?
dignity as a person. Thank you.
Until you have to go find your cell phone to call Guinness and you're like, oh shit.
You know Guinness is bullshit, right? Like if you have a lot of money, you can just have a person from Guinness come to your place and just like do something, and they'll give you a fucking placard for it.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. Actually, I think they have to witness the act happen to prove that it was
Is that
true.
what they did in South Park? It's been a hot minute since I've seen that episode.
I think they had a professional on standby.
I thought he had to do it at their office.
So, I mean, I kind of want to walk this whole thing through, right? So, like, Rico, I agree with you. The first thing that has to happen is that poop's got to get out. I think it needs to get on ice. We got to freeze the poop.
Freeze the poop.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty
That
smart.
I
is a
think
good
I think
idea.
you got to get it on ice.
How much ice do you have compared to how big is this?
I have a deep freezer.
That's
I can just take out all the fucking meat that I have in there, and then put in the poop.
Put it next to the pork shoulder you got on sale.
Yeah,
You can put it in like you
Jesus.
can put it in a couple Walmart bags and put it in the freezer.
There's still a risk of like breaking it on taking it out of the toilet though. So maybe you just like disconnect the toilet and put the whole toilet in the deep freezer.
Or you could ask your wife for help
You could just start
to lift it out of the toilet.
cupping all the water out of the toilet with your hands.
That's okay. Yeah, maybe suck it up with a straw or something. Siphon it out.
Shop vac it out.
I'd be worried to suck up some of that precious shit.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
True. Yeah. This is complicated.
And
We're solving a problem here.
if anyone's going to take the world's biggest shit, it's going to be one of us, probably Scott. So I feel like this is a necessary conversation.
Well, Scott poops in bed, so
I don't poop in bed.
we won't have any of
I
this
just
worry. It'll just be a log
develop a
down the
severe
bed.
urge to poop when I'm in bed.
Yeah, you won't have to.
You
get
guys
up.
keep this shit up. You're gonna make fun of me, and then you're gonna become constipated like your son, and you'll be like, Scott, how do you get a normal bowel habit? I never have to question when I'm gonna have to shit again.
I drink too much coffee to ever be constipated. I'm basically a walking laxative.
Matches your personality type.
Thank you.
You pile of shit.
Pile of laxatives.
So I mean, like, can you maybe like grab a shovel, try to like take the poop out with a shovel?
With like a fish net or something.
Playing with fire there, man.
You could get I know what you could do. You could get those dog pooper scoopers that have like the clamps that like it's like the claws.
Yeah, but like
Those
an
are
excavator.
those are
It'll
built
it'll
those are
smash
built for
into
like
it.
normal dog sized turds.
No, I was gonna say you get multiple of them and like because they're open on the sides
Okay.
and like you get multiple of them to like kind of like airlift the poop out of the toilet. You get like two other people to help you.
just grab the dip net from like your neighbor's pool or something and
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good point too.
scoop it out with that.
This conversation makes me think that we were maybe a little bit wrong about our first answer with Smitty's question. I think that we're too dumb to keep anybody alive in the 1800s.
That's how we'd get rich. World's biggest shit here. See the world's biggest shit.
People in like the 1800s and even like the 1900s, early 1900s, were much smaller people because their diets were much worse. Like nutritionally, I know like the food right now is shitty, but anyway. So like if you take a dump back then, first off, you're going to be big compared to everybody else because like the average height was way lower. So like if you're 5'8" like me, I'm going to be like super fucking tall.
Fuck
And
yeah,
also,
dude.
I'm going to be
Nice.
shitting massive piles compared to everybody else. So they might think I'm like a giant or something.
That's Paul Bunyan right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just a fat dude.
All right. You guys you guys find a way, whether it's dip net, shovel, several dog poop clamps together. You find a way to get the poop airlifted out of the toilet and onto some ice where it will be preserved. What's your next step? You straight up just calling Guinness?
Who else?
I would get,
who else
like-
would you call? Good
I
Morning
would
America.
get like a tape measure. I get a
So
tape
you would
measure
measure
and
it
take,
yourself?
Like, I would tape measure it and like do video of the tape measure.
Banana
Get
for
some
scale.
approximations.
Yeah. And then
Do you
like
weigh it too?
yeah, you're probably gonna have to weigh it.
Gotta weigh it.
Yeah.
You gotta wait before you freeze it, though.
That's true. You do. So you got to weigh it first. I have a kitchen scale. We could use that.
What if after you froze it, and then like you go to thaw it again, wouldn't it just like make it mushy and could change its shape and all that?
Oh fuck, that's a good point.
The cell walls burst in the freezing process.
Well,
So you'd have to use you'd have to flash freeze it. You got to get it in like
yeah.
one of those negative 60-degree freezers so it preserves the cell walls.
You could like encase it in resin.
Who the fuck has
Okay.
resin just laying around?
I like crafts
who
people.
the fuck's got liquid
It's
nitrogen?
not that hard to
laying
get.
around?
You just go to Ace Hardware, you can get some.
Oh, that's cool. I could just run down the street real quick. I need a lot
It's a
of
turd.
fucking
It's not going
resin.
anywhere.
What would you resin it in? Would you just like put it in a 5-gallon bucket and then cut the bucket off later? You get a perfect cylinder with a shit in there.
What you could do, you could take like a 5-gallon bucket. Well, depending on how long it is, you might have to build one out of like wooden planks and shit. So maybe it would be a little bit of a longer trip. You'd have to go to like Menards or something.
I think if you called Guinness, they'd get somebody on a plane and they'd have like the 2 fighter jet escorts to get them as close to you as possible. That way you don't even have to worry about putting it on ice.
They land a plane right on my fucking residential rural street.
Yeah.
Bunch of people in hazmat suits and scientists come rushing out.
A couple reporters. CBS News is out front, CNN.
What if they all come out and it's not actually the world's biggest shit?
That'd be such a disappointment, dude. You go through all the trouble of picking up your shit.
And the reporter's like, what's it feel like to be not the owner of the world's biggest shit?
What's it feel like to be number 2?
Not even. It's like number 6 or something like that.
Didn't they measure
like even if it is like number 2, you're gonna be on like the local news and shit. No, you won't. They wouldn't air that.
Yeah, no. If you called them,
I feel like you'd still have like some local notoriety of like, dude, the second biggest shit in the world was taken right here. If you're number 6, no one
millions
fucking
of
cares.
dollars.
I was gonna say, even if you're number 6 and you did all that and you got everybody out there to assess it, I feel like your local news station would still be like, yeah, like Rico said, local idiot wastes millions of dollars thinking he took the world's biggest shit.
Then what do? You just throw it away?
I'm like, well,
you bury it.
You put it up on your fireplace.
On the mantle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may not be the world's biggest shit,
Encased in
but
amber.
it's my biggest shit.
Rico, you could show that to your son one day.
Pass it down.
The family heirloom.
Pass it down.
This was up my ass. I carried this in my ass for 8 hours.
I want you to have it.
So when your child,
You can give this down to your kid.
I'm imagining like a turd that's like the size of like a piece of firewood.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty big fucking turd.
like, you should make it better.
Your ass will be so
Put it in one of
distended.
those big
You would
5-gallon
rip it in
water
half.
barrel plastic things, like the
Yeah.
ship in a bottle.
Yeah.
I kind of like, because there's going to be a tapered end to it, right? So like every poop,
Generally, yeah.
yeah. So to me, it's going to look like a fucking football.
World's biggest shit football.
Yeah.
Encased in amber.
I
Like,
would
if you
Resin?
Passing a football through your anus would be like untold amounts of pain.
It's somebody's fetish.
yeah, you might
Not
be
mine.
so hurt by the time this is out that like we're talking about like, oh yeah, I would simply poop out the world's biggest shit, then take it out of the toilet and get it on ice.
I'd run down to the hardware store.
Also, given like how much pain and rippage would happen, you'd have to like maybe like hose off the blood a little bit.
That's assuming you didn't pass out on the fucking floor.
Oh yeah, you might pass out from like the amount of pain.
That or
That's what the local news story would be about. Local man dies on his front lawn.
Carrying
Bleeding out of
world's-
his ass.
Potentially world's largest turd.
Local man dies for fucking world's 6th largest turd.
his asshole splintered like a Looney Tunes face when you plug up the shotgun.
Oh yeah.
I just love the idea of like a news what do they call it? Like the banner thing saying
Oh, like
the
turd in
breaking
it.
banner?
It
Yeah.
just makes me laugh. Makes me happy.
It's a small town. They don't have a whole lot going
Yeah.
on.
Local man's turd.
Slow news
Biggest
day.
turd? Question mark.
You start seeing clickbait, the answer will shock you.
The
Holy
answer's no.
crap.
There's just like the local CNN chapters just like, we got to send someone down to this house to go analyze this poop.
Send the newest reporter.
Who's going to do it? Yeah.
You know, it's going to be
Send
worse.
the intern.
Is 6 days from then when they don't have any other stories, they have to follow up with him and ask him how he's healing up and how he's doing and how he's recovering from the shame of not having the world's biggest.
Well, my life is ruined and my ass is unusable.
The
He's just
aftershock,
crying.
the poops that follow just fell right out.
Yeah.
I don't even notice them anymore.
I've shit my pants many times since then. You would if it truly was world's biggest shit and you've had like full Guinness record book and like scientists come out and they like confirm like this is
Just
you're gonna need a scientist to confirm it's all one
scientist.
piece and that it is indeed a human shit.
What
And they
Meteorologist.
determine that it is of human origin and in one solid condition. They will bring a
That's- it's of
scientist out,
human
Scott. That
origin,
this
yeah,
this is
that's
just
important.
these are the facts. These are the facts. You would be such a fucking micro celebrity to some niche group of people out on the internet somewhere. You'd be a fucking legend.
You'd probably get fan mail.
You can start a
You probably
YouTube
would.
channel.
People send you pictures of their own big poops and be like, "Hey,
That's
how big's
probably what it
mine?"
would be. Yeah.
I give
They
this
think
poop
that like
1
you're
out
some
of
fucking
5.
pervert that just really likes poop.
Yeah, there'd be like hot women sending you pictures of them. Be like, "This is what I look like, and this is what my poop looks like."
Do you think they would
hot.
just shut down the website ratemypoop.com because there's no better poops?
Is that
that
a
a real
real website?
It used to be. I don't know if it's still a thing or not.
Did you frequent that site, Rico?
I have seen it on a couple occasions, but I don't frequent it.
That's cool.
You get some low
Ratemypoop.com.
ratings or what?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, what did your poop generally score?
2 stars. Womp womp.
It redirects me to a website www.7.ratemypoop.com, and it just says ratemypoop.com at the top, and it's got 3 related searches: poop bags, bowel movement, and teacher training. What the fuck am I looking at?
Who has a
What is
business
this?
card out there that's like, hey, you can reach me at www.ratemypoop.com.
Yo, Rico just dropped the link in our chat. Rico, I want you to know I'm not clicking on that.
Yeah,
Click it.
it's also probably
Come on.
porn knowing you.
It's not.
Yeah.
Rate my poop.
www.7.ratemypoop.com.
Yeah.
What sort of teacher training would be involved in rating poop? Who has a degree in poop
Yeah, it's an important
determination of quality?
Didn't they grade
Yeah, that's crazy.
the turds on the South Park episode? They weighed them by like Katie Couric's or something.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's
Smitty, you
a reference
laugh,
I don't
but like
even
the-
remember.
You laugh about the subject, but there's probably people that are poop experts. The
Probably, yeah.
study of poop. That's
Yeah.
that's probably a thing.
Probably like an
Poopology.
offshoot of anthropology.
Yeah. So maybe it's that.
They probably stink.
Yeah, I can't imagine a poop
Mhm.
expert's gonna smell good. I'm
We
satisfied.
can
I
have one
bet they're
on as a
really
guest next
gross
time.
and hairy
Yeah, talk shit about them.
and have
Let me hear what you don't
dirt
like.
ass. And they
Fucking love
they
poop
eat
so
some
much.
boogers. They don't get pussy
Unless
They
it's
piss.
poo poo pussy.
everywhere.
Am I right?
They piss everywhere.
I'm fucking satisfied, boys. If you guys at home think that you've taken the world's biggest dump, follow these simple steps that you just heard.
Use a dip net.
Take a picture of it and
use-
send it to
yeah.
at Dr. Piss at punished Dr. Piss on Twitter.
That's right.
I want to see your big poops.
I can't wait for like 2 months from now when we release this and somebody's going to send you a piece of shit and you're like, what the hell? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who the fuck is this asshole?
Not
This
an asshole,
motherfucker
it's
just
poop.
sent me his poop.
Yeah. What is this shit?
It's not even that big.
I'll just constantly reply with like a thumbs up emoji. Or maybe I'll actually rate it. Who gives a shit?
You're very poop
that's
positive.
a 3-star poop. 3 out of 5.
That's awesome.
Rico, you have very little confidence anytime you think of a question.
Mhm.
And for that reason, I think you're a perfect candidate for the third slot.
Okay. This was inspired by a different podcast that I listened to.
Sweet.
Do you think we, the human species, will ever get along?
No.
Talking.
Yeah, I don't
Do you think
so.
that we'll ever stop like having wars and the alt right and alt left will become one? And
Some bad
Make up.
shit's got to happen first.
I don't
so?
even think that would fix it, Scott.
I mean, it's
It's like if you get like alien invasions, there's going to be conflict about how to handle the alien invasion.
I know. And that's actually, I was actually thinking of a similar question to this, because one of my favorite books, and Dave, I know you read it, was Project Hail Mary, and they talk about
It's a good book.
if climate change like rapidly occurs, if the people of Earth are still going to war over like food and stuff, or if they could actually band together. And it's kind of depressing because I don't think we would.
Nah. Even at least in America, we just turned it into like a culture war issue.
Yeah.
I just think we're on a worldwide level scale, Smitty would be the same thing.
Well, like it. So, like in Star Trek, they're living in like a post-scarcity, almost like kind of communist society, and like given the power that corporations and shit have right now, and given the timeline we have for climate change and shit, I don't think we're gonna make it.
Fair point.
Yeah. I wasn't
Not to
there.
be a nihilist, but like fucking, what am I gonna fucking do about it?
Wasn't there a I don't remember if he was from Saudi Arabia or something, but he was like in their air force or was their prime minister. But he said that we've been in contact with aliens for like years, and
So
Oh, yeah.
said along.
said the reason why like they haven't come to contact us is because they know that we're a young species and that they know that we'll end up killing ourselves, so they don't want to like accept us into their group or whatever.
I
We
think
can't sit at their table.
Scott, that was someone in the Israeli military.
Yes, I forgot. Yeah, which
'Cause I heard
country?
that.
Yeah,
But I think also, and again, this is all me speculating what I think I remember reading. I think that guy was considered nuts.
Huh.
Maybe take it with a grain of salt.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
those are big claims. But yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty big fucking
yeah.
claims.
I still don't. I don't think there's anything that could really unify all of us.
I mean, what about the opposite end of that, right? So we talk about all these bad things happening. What if something really good were to happen? It's just like something happens and like, I don't know, we wake up tomorrow and there's no more disease. Just
We'd fuck
somehow
it up
it
somehow.
all eradicated.
We'd fuck it up.
Or everyone was given $1 million. I don't know. Literally everyone on Earth has $1 million. No, that would cause inflation. That'd be bad, right?
If everybody has $1 million,
I don't
nobody
even
has
know
$1 million.
anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't be very good because then they would just like charge $1 million for everything.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
a problem.
forget that part. No disease.
Like
I
no
don't
more
know.
disease ever.
Ever.
And then overpopulation would skyrocket, and then we'd be fighting over land.
No, there's
food.
still
No, it
death.
wouldn't.
There's still death, right? no
Overpopulation
disease.
wouldn't happen anyway because we still can't afford to have kids.
It's still happening though. I mean, our population's up to what, 8 billion now?
Yeah,
Something like that.
overpopulation's like a rich people myth to make poor people feel shitty about not having kids.
Yeah, but when we were younger
Or
in
having
school, I
kids.
remember the number was still 6 billion. We're living longer. If you don't have diseases killing people, because that's a huge conspiracy about cancer, is that we've actually found the cure for it, but we refuse to because, it generates tax dollars and it's population control.
It's a
Bullshit.
good conspiracy.
It's
Mhm.
I hate it, but yeah, I mean,
love dumb conspiracy shit like
we're
that.
obviously keeping people alive much longer. If disease wasn't there, there'd be a hell lot more people around.
So we get pissed off at that and still end up killing each other.
Yeah, we'd run out of places to live, and prices would still go higher. Yeah, we'd fuck it up.
What if
Greed.
everyone just like
If the only
jacked off and came and smoked some weed?
fuck yeah,
Would we get along then, Scott?
God, I hope so.
All right, how do we do that? How do we make that a reality?
I'm gonna start by jerking off, and I'll think of the
Yeah.
rest after.
Yeah, we
When
all
I'm-
come.
when I'm focused.
We all do
That's gonna be
drugs.
my platform for presidency. Senator first, and then presidency. Jerk off, weed, and coming party.
Jerk off and coming.
Yeah. Well, there's the act, and then there's the
Right,
finish.
Yeah.
I was
not
invited
part
to
of
the
the
jerk
distinction
off, but I
here.
wasn't invited to the cum party.
I can't come. This sucks.
RSVP
thrown
can't
out.
come. Sorry.
That's probably what it would end up being too. Like if everyone was jerking off and coming, theoretically we would all get along, but there'd be like the one person that just can't finish and they get frustrated and they'd be like the source of all the conflict.
Or if everybody was high, you'd get the one person that was like way too anxious and paranoid and
Or super
And they start all the
annoying while they're
conflict?
high.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do we like tolerate killing those people and then we go back to our normal society where everything's peachy?
But there's going to be people that
Probably.
aren't peachy about you killing that person, Rico.
So he'll kill
Wow.
that person too.
Yeah, we kill them.
So we
Murder
should
all
just
the way down.
yeah,
Murder
we
people
so,
we don't like.
so we should just kill everyone we don't like until we
Kill
have
all
a
the people that
utopia.
aren't like us.
Kill the bad people.
Pretty much.
The good people kill the bad people, and that's
Is that your
cool.
final solution to this question, Rico?
I would call it. I would yes. Just use different words. Yeah. That's the last thing I would do to make what I want happen. Yeah.
All right, so we've established first episode Rico's pro genocide. Sweet.
Well, it's a genocide of losers. Who cares?
I would use a different word.
No, I mean, so we're all pro
I would
genocide.
just call it something. Yeah, just call it something different.
Yeah.
Different.
And we also have a breeding program, so only the coolest people can have babies, so they don't make losers.
I like
And
it.
if you're
like- yeah, this
and
is
if you
good.
have loser traits in your genetics, you're not allowed to breed.
Loser traits. You turn 15 and a doctor walks in. He goes, "Sorry,
You're a
not-
fucking loser.
I gotta cut your balls
Chop off his nads.
Perfect.
You satisfied, Rico?
Yeah. Dump it.
This is the we answered your question.
You
we
did.
actually fucking did it.
Yep.
Holy shit.
There we go.
Scott,
Yes, sir.
round us out, buddy.
Boys, you wake up in the morning and you are the size of a can of soda. How significantly does your life change?
A lot.
I couldn't get down from bed. that
Well,
would
you'd
be the
lighter,
first struggle.
So,
Is your spouse also the size of a can?
Nope.
so shit.
She could put you on the floor
First,
or put you in her pocket.
you have to wake her up and hope that she could, like, I don't know. It'd be funnier if your voice changed was like super high pitched. She'd probably turn over.
I think
and-
it'd be funnier if it didn't change.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm small down here.
Is that
Yo,
how you
pick
talk to
me
your
up.
wife first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
She's asleep on
Yeah,
her side,
yo, I'm small down here.
facing away from you. Yo, I'm small down here, babe.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, getting down from the bed would be a challenge. Having my dogs not fucking rip me up would be the
I was
next
just thinking
challenge.
that. My dogs would absolutely just
Yeah,
bite the shit
I
out of me.
think-
Be like, fuck yeah, dude! It's a toy of my owner.
First
Fucking
of all,
sweet.
I sleep with my bedroom door closed. I wouldn't be able to get out.
Ooh.
Crawl on? No, you'd be too big to
Brutal.
crawl under the door.
Yeah, I might be able
Fuck.
to punch through. So I have a fireplace, but my cat likes to crawl through it at night. So I taped a garbage bag over it so he'd stop walking through because it has a pilot light on and I don't want him to hurt himself. I don't think I'd be able to bust through that thing if I was the size of a soda can.
Maybe if you had like, do you have like a thumbtack or like a pin maybe lying around somewhere that you can?
Probably not that I could fucking reach.
So if you're the size of a soda can, a pin is like.
Be like a dagger.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
If you have like a pair of scissors or like one scissor, that would be okay.
I think that might be too big.
Yeah, a pocket knife would be
soda
like a
can?
broadsword.
Hmm.
I also don't.
It kind of sounds badass.
I don't have those things like right where I could reach them anyway. I'd have to like find a way to climb up to my bed or something. You know, like I wouldn't be able to get out.
Well, you could climb down the bed if you have like a blanket that drapes off the bed.
Yeah.
So then you're on the floor. But if you have your door closed, you can't go anywhere.
Right.
So you're basically just fucked.
Yeah.
I have a bathroom attached to my bedroom, so I'll have if I could somehow scale my bathtub or get up to my sink, and also have the manpower as a can of soda to crank the knob to get the water flowing, at least I can have a source of water.
Do you have a
at
stopper in
least
your
there's
sink
that.
at least?
I do.
Okay. Well, a can of pop. I guess you probably wouldn't go down the drain.
No, you
gosh,
wouldn't go
no.
down the drain.
No.
You could probably drown quickly if you like fall into like the bowl of the sink,
Yeah.
because it's a little slippery, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's texture to those bowls. So I mean, I guess I could maybe I have a source of water.
You couldn't even open up the fridge door. Like if you
I
got
could-
out of
I
your
would,
bedroom,
I would just have to eat. I would just have to eat the crumbs that like fall behind my oven.
Yeah, and hopefully your dogs haven't already gotten to them.
Yeah, right.
You'd
I'm
have
be
to find-
competing with my dogs for scraps. I'll just try to find where the ants are going. They'll take me to food.
Ants would be fucking terrifying. Well, I guess
Yeah, they
ants
would.
still be pretty small.
I guess maybe not. A lot of them
Maybe
would be
like the size of
terrifying.
a
A rat,
Yeah.
right? Like a mouse or like
Yeah.
a rat.
Oh, dude, you'd get swooped up by a hawk.
Oh yeah.
go on crazy adventures.
Imagine all the silly things that you would do.
Get ripped
With the
apart,
hawk.
fed to a nest full of chirping babies.
Oh, you'd be ripped to shreds by the time you get there, bud.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
You'd never clog your toilet again, though.
Unless you fell in
You
and
wouldn't
you
be
were
able to
the
have
one
the
that
world's-
clogged it.
Big as shit.
You could take the world's smallest shit at that
I don't
size.
know if I've ever flushed a soda can. I don't know if it would go down.
I bet you I've taken a turd about that size. But they're
Damn.
also soft, right? You know,
Mhm.
they can condense, as
Yeah.
we have determined.
I just think of the width of a soda can. I don't. Nope.
I can make it.
It would change my life a lot.
I also live on the second story, so like going down the stairs to get anywhere would be. It'd be an entire day thing.
I'm on the
How would you
opposite
have
end of
sex?
that. How would you have sex?
Mm-hmm.
Same way I have it now.
I jack off my tiny little dick,
Yep, that's the same.
just like
way I
in
have
the
it now.
corner.
Yeah.
Assuming that your wife doesn't also like recognize that you're the size of a can of soda and help you out with things, not
Mhm.
sex related necessarily, but
Yeah, the honest answer, Scott, is my wife would probably take me to a doctor or some shit.
doctor from the 1800s.
Yeah. It's like, hey, my husband's the size of a soda can.
Damn, that's
You fuck-
crazy.
Yeah,
Can you fucking fix him?
Nope.
Give him some
Nope.
antibiotics or some shit.
that's $4,000.
Yeah. Like this, they probably couldn't even like the basic stuff that every doctor does when you go in for like a check-in. It's like check your lungs, check your heart, and it's just like the stethoscope's like the size of your whole fucking body.
You choke to death on the popsicle stick when he's checking your back of
They're
your throat.
just shoving a log down your mouth.
Mhm.
All right,
He's
now
trying to check your
turn and
reflexes on your
cough.
knees, and he fucking like shatters your lens off.
all right, we got to do a prostate
There is
check.
no needle that's fucking thin enough to not just be like humongous when they draw your blood.
Oh shit, that's true.
Yeah, that'd be terrifying.
I wouldn't be
I
able to
wouldn't
do
like
my
that, Scott.
job like at all. Like if you have
You
like
could
a
probably-
computer job, like maybe you could like do it, but
Yeah.
it'd be really difficult.
yeah,
Like,
it'd
I
be like
literally
if-
could not do my job.
It would be like if you the people that set up like claymation sets and they're like really small.
Yeah,
So you have like a normal looking office behind you, but you're really fucking tiny.
That's pretty dope and frightening. But like, what am I gonna fucking do? Just like walk around my classroom as a tiny ass little person? Like the kids are not gonna respect me whatsoever, and I'll probably have one of them step on me on purpose.
They would use you as a football dude.
yeah.
I would fucking die.
Yeah.
They would
They would punt you across the room in about 20 seconds.
they would
Yeah.
they'd take a target bag and make a little parachute and see if it could float you down safely when they yeet you off the roof of the school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've heard stories on Twitter about what people have done to their hamsters as children. I can't imagine what they would do to me.
They probably shove you up their ass too.
I was just going to say, the places you'll go, Smitty.
Be like, I'd be put in the microwave for sure.
Or you'd be put in a hamster ball and somebody would accidentally kick you or something. God, that'd be so fucking terrifying.
Yeah, scrape me out of the inside with a spoon.
You could you could probably shove yourself up your spouse's ass?
You could do
Like,
that.
I was
Like your
getting
whole
with the sex
self, if
question,
if that's your fetish.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're into that,
Yeah.
Scott.
It probably.
Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm satisfied.
I know some people would have that fetish, right? It's just like fuck yeah,
Totally.
like
Yeah, they
legit.
absolutely do.
Wake up first thing in the morning. Please shove me in your ass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People
Wouldn't
have
be my
like
first
fetishes about giant people. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah,
You
right.
could
Shoved
totally
in
get
somebody's
new
ass.
fetishes if you or your spouse
Probably.
shrink down to the size of a can.
Mm.
Like,
That
I
wouldn't
gotta
really
try
work
this
the
for
other way
science.
as the man in a heterosexual relationship. Like I could shove my tiny soda can self up my wife's ass, but I feel like I can't fuck my soda can sized wife if the shoe were on the other foot.
You could stick your soda size
Soda can size.
soda can size wife up your ass.
That's true.
But
I
would
don't
she
think she
want
would
that?
like that.
Yeah.
You'd have to have that conversation.
You'd have to have an
Do you
enema first.
do you consent to me shoving your entire self up my ass?
Don't worry, I got you some goggles and some water
I
wings.
feel like she's.
I'll
she's
wrap
pretty
your entire self in
understanding.
a condom. That way you come out clean.
and smelling like bananas.
Yeah.
I don't like these visuals. I know you and your wife way too well to have these visuals, dude.
I like these visuals.
Thank you. At least someone here respects my fetish.
Yeah.
Titties would look bigger.
Hell yeah.
That's
be
true.
cool.
They'd be
shit.
fucking massive.
Yeah.
Like from
Like
that
mountains.
perspective,
That's
I could
pretty cool.
actually be crushed.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If I, yeah.
That's my fetish. There we go.
Actual
yeah,
death
dude.
by snoo snoo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Suffocate under some titties.
Have a woman actually step on me.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm liking the way this question's progressing from the negatives to the positives.
Yeah,
we
let's,
go.
let's do it. Let's do
Weird pervert shit.
it.
Cock and ball torture would just be like,
What,
I
a
don't know.
binder clip?
oh, Jesus. Yeah.
You'd
I
save
wanna
on
think about
like
that.
you'd save on a lot of stuff because what would it take to feed you as like a soda can sized person?
That's
Yeah,
true.
a pair would last you like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
God, I've been eating this for months.
It would probably like naturally ferment a little too. So like at the end, you'd start getting a little drunk off of like a couple bites of pear.
That some of
Oh,
you
you
just
drink like a Dixie cup full of beer and you die. You take like 2 hits off a vape and you are fucking like
2 hits. You're the
dead to the
size of a
world.
soda can.
Cheap date, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I feel like at that size, I would just like have someone blow their secondhand smoke in my face,
Mhm.
but not too roughly. Otherwise, I'll blow over.
It's like a 60-mile-an-hour wind. You're like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, someone turns on a fucking fan. I'm just fucked.
Yeah, that'd be, your wife would have to like keep you in a cage, so like you didn't get lost or accidentally like trampled on.
Yeah, I would not consent to that shit. You don't fucking put me in a tank like I'm some animal without feelings.
hold on, I have to feed my husband. He's in the terrarium.
He's got the gerbil
Just
bottle
drops like
still.
a couple beans in there.
Beans.
I gotta change out the bedding. He keeps shitting in this corner, and
Beans and rice would probably be like the easiest things to eat.
Yeah, just like 3 of each,
Yeah.
and you're good.
They're cheap.
Oh my
They're
God,
like
dude.
nutritionally dense. That's fine.
I'd have like these tiny fucking micro farts eating those beans.
and then you take the world's biggest micro poop. Just be like a Hershey kiss.
Oh yeah, it'd be about that size.
Yeah. You're calling
Jesus
Guinness.
Christ, it's
You're like,
fucking huge.
check this shit out. They're like, wait a minute. We don't want to talk about the fact that you're the size of a can of soda. This isn't even the biggest micro shit.
Like as long as like 2 Tootsie Rolls.
Kathy's husband down the street just shrunk down to the size of a soda can too, and he took one bigger than that.
Kathy's husband.
Asshole. Quit wasting our time.
I'm satisfied.
Hell yeah. If you like what you hear, first and foremost, I just want to say We want this show to be a cooperative effort between ourselves and the listeners of the show. And part of that is including your questions in our show at any given time, possibly doing some listener episodes in the future. There are a few ways to get in touch with us. The best way, though, we have a Google Voice line that is set up to either directly go to voicemail if you call it or if you text it. So leave us a question. That number is 708-433-9153. That'll be in the show notes as well. So you don't have to write it down or anything stupid like that. You could also find us on Twitter at ImpQuestionsPDC. That's IMP Questions PDC. The Important Questions Podcast on Instagram is another place you can find us. We will have a subreddit set up as well if you guys want to contact us there somehow. That's r/Important Questions Pod. And for the somewhat near future, we'll be working on some sort of bonus content for people that want to support the show on Patreon. Patreon.com/theimportantquestions. You can support us and all that shit and possibly get some goodies down the road, some bonus content, some shit like that. You don't want to miss that. I guarantee you. Boys,
Hell yeah.
any final thoughts?
You can find me on Twitter at Punish Dr. Piss. Send me your shit pics if you took a really, really, really big shit. I'll give you a rating.
Okay, Smitty with the poop ratings. Any final thoughts, other boys?
Nope.
No, sir.
Fantastic. You all have a great fucking day, and hope you join us for the next episode. See ya.
Okay, bye.
Yup.
Bye.